Okay, this video really is just to put the course or what we've just been working on into a little bit of context. So if you're okay with the project and you understand what we've got to do, there's no real reason to have a look at this video other than for interest. If you're kind of still wondering why we're doing what we're doing, then I'll try and explain a little bit about what's going on. So I'm going to try and use a jigsaw as an analogy. An analogy is something that is similar to, it's like a story of. And what we've been doing so far is like a jigsaw, and you can see the jigsaw on the screen. The thing is, it's a very, very simple jigsaw, it's only a few pieces. And the point is that I'm trying to show you what's on the front of the box, not how to build the jigsaw at the moment. So you're seeing the picture on the box, what the jigsaw should look like. And that's what the project we've been doing at the moment is. I've done it, I've gone through it so that you can see what a project would look like. But it's very simple, rather like the jigsaw on the screen. And what we've got to work ourselves up to over the next year or so is a bit more of a complicated jigsaw. So it's not just a six-piece jigsaw and a very simple picture. It's a really complicated jigsaw, and there's many pieces, thousands of pieces that you've got to put together. And although you might think that's going to be rather difficult, actually the same method for building both jigsaws is pretty much the same. So you might get the bits out of the box. That's the first thing you've got to do. Then you'll find all the edge pieces, the four edge pieces, the corner pieces, sorry. And then you'll find the edges of the jigsaw, and then you'll find all the blue bits for the sky and the brown bits for there's a method on how you're going to build your jigsaw puzzle all together. But there's a lot more pieces that we've got to learn, and the picture is a little bit more complicated, but I don't expect you to be doing that straight away. We're going to learn for the rest of this term, and we're going to have several lessons on this as we go through the next year, along with some theory. So we're trying to build a more complicated jigsaw. At the moment, all you're seeing is the picture on the box, and a very simple picture at that. So let me take a look. This is the kind of thing that on the left hand side of the screen that you should be aiming towards. I don't expect you to understand any of it at all at the moment, but maybe some things that we've just done might be making sense to you. So for example, the hash symbol with display menu on the screen is a comment. So you've seen comments, you should understand what that is. Def show menu, not a chance at the moment, we haven't seen those jigsaw pieces. The print statements, again, you've used a print statement, so you might be sort of familiar with what you're seeing, but that very first one, print \n calculator \n, you haven't seen that yet. That's another jigsaw piece that we've got to learn what it does. And at the end of the day, you will manage this because just like a jigsaw, the pieces fit together quite nicely. And in fact, on the right hand side, you can see a little bit of scratch, and it's so similar to a jigsaw that scratch is actually built like a jigsaw where the bits fit together. And you've got to learn what the Python version of Scratch is, so you need to know what the jigsaw pieces are so that you can fit them together to make a program. And if you take a look on the right hand side of Scratch where it says set up the game, that is a Scratch comment, just like the red comment for Python that you see where it says display the menu on the screen. There's lots of similarities between the two, but at the moment quite difficult to get your head around. But remember, we're only looking at the overall, the big picture at the moment. We haven't gone into the small details, the little jigsaw pieces and how they fit together. So at the end of the day, you will be, again, doing flowcharts. And this is the kind of flowchart that I'm expecting you to be able to build if you choose to do flowcharts, that is. And you can see it's not simple. It's quite complicated. But over time, I will build those pieces together and show you how it's all used. But there are things that you already sort of know. So you know what the start box looks like. You know what the end box looks like. You've seen these parallelograms and you know that they're either input or output, and all of these are output. We've got another one over here. We've got another input value. Everything else is nothing to do with input or output. Got plenty of starts, plenty of ends. You've seen them. And you've also seen these lines coming down from one box to another. You've done them. So we're getting somewhere. We're learning how to build these flow charts as we go on. But we've still got a long way to go, and we've still got a lot of pieces to put together. And over the next couple of lessons, we're actually going to see this one here, this diamond shape. So that's what we're going to concentrate on in the next lesson. And really all of this down this side where it says calculate choice at the top, add, subtract, multiply, divide, really is this piece of programming over here. So I've got calculate choice in blue. That's just the word that sits in that box. And then I've got an if choice equals A. Well, that's what this diamond represents here. It's called if, and A stands for add at the moment. And if it's not that, then are we going to subtract? And there's my subtracting. If it's not that, are we going to multiply? So there's the multiply diamond. If it's not that, are we dividing? And if we're not doing any of those, have we put in or are we printing out the fact that they haven't made a valid choice? So this piece of code here, including the comment, is just this block of code or flow chart here. And over the next few lessons, we're going to start learning how to build programs using this flow chart. But it's not easy, and hopefully you'll get it. Hopefully the more we play around with things, the more we build jigsaws, the more jigsaw puzzles we build, the easier this will become. So that's what we're trying to do. That's the context of what we have just done, the project, why we're doing it, what it looks like, and where we're going to go, and sort of the size of things and what you'll need to be doing. So the next video that I'm going to give you is probably going to be a little complicated because we've got lots of choices we can make in programs, and I'm going to be discussing one or two of those choices that you can make, not me, you. So that's it for this lesson. There's no exercise with this. This is just informational, putting context on what we're doing.